Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and wherever you're watching in the world, welcome along to One Hub Pinnacle Tier Season 14 and the 20th round of this season, which takes us to the Brazilian Grand Prix here at Sao Paulo. My name is Kieran McGinley, and joining me in the commentary box for what could be a potential championship decider tonight is Jamie Metcalf. Jamie, how are you tonight?
Yeah, very good. How is everybody?
Well, I'm certainly not too bad. Let us know in the chat how you are tonight. Jamie, one important thing that we have to discuss for tonight, 31 points between the two championship rivals, which means that the title could be decided here tonight. And all Westy has to do is finish ahead of Cass. That's all he has to do to wrap up this title right here tonight.
Yeah, obviously he should feel confident doing that after with his 4th place last week. That was a good result for him, and yeah, I feel he should do it tonight, but you never know, anything can happen about racing. Yeah,
you absolutely never know what's around the corner, especially when it comes to Formula 1. One thing I should point out as well is the championship standings. Well, if you don't know already, Westy is on top on 237, Cass is in second on 206, Flavel in third. At the moment, he could wrap up third place in the championship guaranteed, as long as he finishes ahead of James Slater. James Slater then is in 4th place on 140 points, Will G in 5th on 113, Forbes in 6th on 107, Yarnell in 7th on 75, Skeven 8th with 72, Ulbricht in 9th with 64, Sam in 10th with 61, Clone is in 11th on 48, Unknown in 12th on 41, Valentino in 13th on 40, Cohen is in 14th on 34, 3 drivers are all on 30 points. It's Z3 15th, Gavin in 16th, and Lonnie in 17th, and Speedy Suarez there in 18th with 2 points. KV Lion, which I'm going to say Lion, I think that's the best way to pronounce that one, and Bruma, I believe, are brand new drivers with 2 rounds to go. So, Jamie, they've got a lot to prove in these final 2 races.
Yeah, actually, KV Lion, he's dropped out, so it's actually Philip Smith who's got that seat. Yeah, they have got a lot to prove, but this might be good testing for next season. If fancy race next season, this might be good. Dip their toes in, see how they do. It's quite a competitive tier, so we'll see how they do tonight.
It is a very competitive tier, and the other thing is, for Smith and for Bruma, the great thing is for them, they can sort of go into this race with a little bit, not necessarily complacency, but a little bit of confidence, you know. They're not here for a championship battle. They're here to get some races under their belt. And so that's the perfect opportunity in these 2 races to really prove yourself to those teams up the order.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you get like a podium or even a race win in these 2 races, it's incredible. Obviously, it's a free hit for them, and we'll see what they'll do. And we're going to get underway very shortly for this Brazilian Grand Prix, which is quite a classic track. A lot of good racing around here. We can see weather and safety cars are quite common around here, so we'll see if we get any of that tonight.
And we will see what happens when we get there. I have to say, Brazil is one of my favourite tracks on the calendar, and just a bit more about the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. First Grand Prix in 1973, the Brazilian Grand Prix. Circuit length for 4.309 kilometres. Will be going around here for 36 laps and a race distance of around about 153 kilometres, of course, with that 50% race distance. Lap record 110.540 from Valtteri Bottas in 2018. And yeah, well, the first Grand Prix at Interlagos for a World Championship race was in 1973, and they were treated to a home win in the first 3 Brazilian Grand Prix, with Fittipaldi victorious in 1973 and 74, whilst Carlos Pache won in 1975. So it's fair to say I can't think of many other Brazilian drivers that had success at Interlagos. I have to be honest with you, Jamie, I'm drawing a blank, but it's a very popular track here on the calendar, and especially popular with those drivers and commentators among us.
I remember Rubens Barrichello, he had so much bad luck around there. I remember one race, I think it was 2003, it was leading that race by half a lap and he ran out of fuel. So yeah, Rubens didn't have much luck, but a lot of the other guys did. And yeah, obviously there's no Brazilian drivers in F1 nowadays, so yeah, it's quite sad to see, because I was going to be going up seeing at least 2 or 3 on the grid, so we'll be our next one on the grid.
Yeah, and I can't think of any Brazilian drivers that had success around here with the name Senna. Bruno comes to mind, but I can't think of any others. Anyway,
Oh, no.
no, none come to mind.
No,
None at all.
Gear, was it second gear? I can't remember what race it was.
I think it was either 6th or 5th.
Schumacher in one race.
Schumacher was in 5th at Barcelona. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We come to the Brazilian Grand Prix, and one race here where, as we've said, Jamie, could decide the championship between Westy and Cass. And let's just come on to the two championship contenders, because they both had a fantastic season. And for one of them to lose out this season is really going to be, the hard luck. You put in all that effort for the season, and it's just not quite enough. But Westy's got the upper hand, it's safe to say.
Yeah. He's got the race wins. He's got the more race wins. He's got the more podiums. He's got the better results, and he's on the better form as well. Because Cass won a race, but that's quite early in the season, and since then he's dropped off a little bit. But Westy, he was struggling early on, I remember, and then he almost actually left, I believe, but we managed to convince him to stay, and I bet he has, because it was looking bad for him early on. He was a long way behind, but obviously things happened with other drivers, and he took full advantage, and now he's in the prime seat. And Brazil, we've seen a lot of champions crowned in Brazil in the past. I wonder if we get another one tonight. I feel like this is the last championship decided in one preparation, so enjoy it, everybody.
Absolutely, as we get the first few cars out onto track, and it is Cohen who will be the first car out onto the track in the Williams, closely followed behind by the Alfa Romeo of Jonas Ulbrich there, making their way down towards the first couple of corners. Through we go through turn 4, I believe this is, on through 5, and then upwards towards turn 6 and 7. Narrowest part of the track here as you head up the hill through turn 6 and 7. This double right-hander here towards then the right-hander of turn 8. An overtaking opportunity, to say the least, down in towards turn 9, and then upwards up the hill through turn 10 as we ride on board with Cohen here. And I think it's safe to say that the camera looks a lot better this week if you're watching on the stream than it did last week, so fingers crossed everything's sorted there. We'll actually ride on board with Cohen, why not, as we make our way towards that final braking zone, in before one of us is the final corner. It's going to be one of us, Jamie, we just don't know who yet. Heading now through this double left-hander, onwards now towards the start-finish line to start a new flying lap here. Such a short circuit, and just over, or should I say just under 70 seconds it takes to get around this track. Even quicker than that as we head through the centre rest. Watch out for turn 2, it's very easy to invalidate your lap time as you head over the curb on the right-hand side through turn 3, and then onwards now down this short straight towards turn 4. Plenty of time to think about your braking zone here, braking just after the 100-metre board, very close to the grass on the right-hand side on entry through turn 4 and then through turn 5. Up the hill then we'll go towards turn 6 and 7. Narrowest part of the track coming up. Try and use as much track on the left-hand side as possible to open up 6 and 7 to get yourself as much speed as possible. There you can see the red on the mini-map there means that the lap has been invalidated, but we'll keep riding on board as we head through turn 9. The undulation through sector 2 can catch a couple of drivers out as we head through turn 10, trying to get as tight to that curb as possible. Undulation on the exit as well as you head through turn 11, using that curve to help you draw into the apex of the corner in towards turn 12, final braking point of the circuit. Oh, big tank slapper out of turn 12 as we head our way now through 13, 14, and then onwards towards that turn 15 and try and get the shortest run to the line. But of course Cohen has invalidated his lap, so of course he will be heading back to the pit lane. Ulbrich though will be continuing on his lap towards that start finish line, and it is going to be a 108.9 from the Alfa Romeo, and that's the first lap time of qualifying. Good lap from there. Suarez has spun it in turn 3, but he's able to continue. Luckily hit the rear with his car, so he don't get rear damage in this game, so he's able to continue. But he just lost a lot of traction now. I've been following a few drivers whilst you were aboard that lap, and a few guys are showing for traction. This track seems very low grip. I've seen a few guys spin off already as Philip Smith, our new driver, gets the pole position lap. I've seen a few drivers spin off already on cold tyres, so I want to watch out for later in this session. It does look quite overcast qualifying. It does look pretty overcast, I have to say, as Forbes then sets the fastest lap of qualifying with a 108.047, who's taken that lap time away from Smith then, who's had a promising start already. Second place for him so far. Skeven in third, with Sam in fourth, Valentino fifth, Westy sixth, Lonnie seventh, Clone is in eighth, Ulbrich ninth, and Cass is there in P10. I believe we have Ulbrich there making his way back towards the pit lane. We do have Suarez coming up the hill and towards the start-finish line, but I think he might come back to the pits because he did have a spin earlier on. No, he stays out and goes on for another lap here, so another chance to get that lap time on the board. Man from Jersey then, Ollie Flavel, crashed out at Kota last time out, which has now put him out of the championship running, but he could wrap up third place in the standings here tonight, Jamie.
Yeah, he's in the prime seat at third position. I'll watch that back, and I think what happened there, I think he might only just lost it trying to overtake when another driver. But yeah, he can secure third place tonight, and I think he deserves it because he's had a few good races, and he's coming back on form past few races. But obviously what happened last week is unfortunate for him. He had the incident early on in the safety car we thought might have saved him, but in the end it was his undoing as that last lap crash knocked him out of contention. But third place for him will be a strong season, and you can definitely build on that in the future.
Absolutely, and he puts it 14th right now, hasn't set a lap time, but he makes his way up the hill towards turn 6 and 7, making his way through on a set of those medium tyres. There you can see some of the lap times here. There you can see the best lap time on the tyre they've set their best lap time on, and Cass there 109.0 on a set of the medium tyres. Now, considering it's such a short track, you'd expect the delta to be just under 1 second, so that's pretty promising from Cass then, in terms of race pace.
Definitely be a low to mid 8 with that lap time. Yeah, that's pretty good. Obviously we do believe he will go on to the soft tyre later on. Maybe hands a bit of a bank on the medium tyres, and obviously a lot of guys got on harder tyres, but a lot of the guys are going straight on the soft. So yeah, it's interesting to see. I wonder if this may be a preview of whether it might be later in the race. I don't know, but we know obviously a few guys out on hard tyres, but people are neglecting that today. I know tyre wear isn't that strong around here, so maybe the hard tyres just it won't be grippy enough for them on this track.
Ulbrich there set a purple sector 1, invalidated his lap time and has spun it there on the exit of turn 10. Grass on his tyres there. Yeah, purple sector through sector 1 there, unfortunately, and that's Suarez who's around again on the exit of turn 9.
Before that. Yeah, his teammates coming through, so there's been keeping notice there. It's good to see. Obviously this new track map, we can see where things has happened, which is good, because normally you see a yellow flag where it is, but now you get that. Be careful, he might.
I think he's got a 3-point turn here. He's just got to wait for all the cars to go past. If he's not careful, he could get disqualified here. So he's got to get a move on. And there goes a chunk of that front wing. Get a move on, otherwise you're going to get that disqualification. That's not going to look
now,
great.
It's clear in now. Yeah, I think he did that because he saw the car coming in. He didn't want to get in the way, so he just drove in the wall just to get out of the way. But yeah, I thought the most convincing way of... not the most elegant way of recovering the spin box. He's been away a few weeks, maybe a bit of rust there showing as Cohen stuck it on second place for the first flying lap. It's quite tight at the top. We've got a 10 separating the top 4 there.
Absolutely, and looking at it, a 10th, as you say, separated from the top 4, the top 11 separated by 1 second, and around a short track like this, where the lap times are going to be so important, you need to make sure that the time you lose is pretty much minimal, if at all. Will G's now making his way onwards towards turn 12. He's got his teammate of Westy behind him as they make their way up the hill now. Westy will be hoping to climb higher than 7th place, as we've got a Red Bull there just slowing down to try and open up the track for a new flying lap. Will G heads his way towards the line then, and towards the start-finish line, and it is a new flying lap as Westy, by the way, goes up to P6 then. 108.3. Smith then in the Haas shaves off a couple of tenths of a second, in fact a couple of hundredths. He's now just 3 thousandths shy of Forbes' provisional pole position time. You really cannot get much closer if you try.
Yeah, this is impressive because when he was racing this afternoon, I told him this afternoon, and he says, well, the practice, and the practice is paying off for sure. That's an impressive lap time as Forbes and Skivan bump into the 107s, but it's still tight as ever. Look, 107.9, and we've got Cohen in fourth on a 106.0, and this is And we do expect it because it's such a short track, but yeah, once again, it just shows you how perfecting, if you could perfect the corner or make little mistakes possible, you said before, then you're going to jump a few rows on the grid. It's imperative that you nail your lap.
Absolutely, and Smith is doing a really good job on his qualifying debut here. Second row of the grid as he makes his way in towards turn 12 and making it known to the other teams around him that he's here now. He has arrived as he makes his way. Now, I believe he'll be going back to the pit lane, which he does in the car number 66. And shortly following behind a Ferrari into the pit lane. By the way, Sam is up to P5 then, Cohen P4, Cass then into 7th place on a set of those soft tyres just behind Westy, which if that happened in the race will not be good news for him whatsoever.
No, but that's not ideal for him. You want to qualify a bit higher than that, because obviously it's not just a matter of finish ahead of Westy. What he needs to do really, he needs to win the race really to give himself the maximum of opportunities in Abu Dhabi. Because if he wins, because if he gets like a third, like 10th, like 4th place, and Westy doesn't finish, then you need to win in Abu Dhabi basically. So he needs to get the best result possible. So that happens in the grid on a track where overtaking it's doable, but it's not like the past few tracks overtaking. You need to be high up on the grid, I think, to do well here. And yeah, he's improved there, but I'm not sure that up on the move is the best idea. I think he needs to get a bank on the soft straight away so he felt a bit more comfortable. I think he may be trying to push a little bit too much as he's coming into the pits in lap, obviously. But yeah, I just think Westy will be feeling quite comfortable at that, because I don't think his lap was the best either. So he's coming out again to have another go.
Valentino went purple through sector 2. Onwards he goes towards the start finish line. It is 7th place from the Racing Point car, 108.3 from him as he makes his way through, or well, literally through the centre rest there, not taking any mercy there. Just a quick word here about the Race Premium members. Of course, if you want to become a member of the One Hub Racing Premium Club, if you like, it is a voluntary contribution of £9.99 per year, and it allows you to have a guaranteed seat, as JB has pointed out in previous streams, but also well, it gives you extra time. We get to talk about you more. Valentino is one of them. Alongside him is Westy, a championship runner in this one, and also so not racing tonight is Bruma, who I believe, Jamie, is Brumadinho, who is a household name when it comes to One Hub Racing. And if you'd like to know more about what Racing Premium can do for you, and if you want to become a member, go and visit onehubracing.com and click the Race Premium section at the top of the page to find out more and how you can start donating to One Hub Racing.
Yeah, I recommend it. Obviously, it's the best way to make sure you're in for next season. And obviously now we've got I believe we have a trailer. I think we have a video trailer announcement being released next week, and that'll give us some information about season 15, which won't be too far around the corner. Obviously, it'll be the last season on this game, and until we go to the new 2020 game.
Yeah, make a date, Valentine's Day, with One Hub Racing. You don't want to miss that one, as the Season 15 announcement will be underway. Skeevan then starts a new flying lap then, 107.9 from him so far. Now, we're getting reports then from one of the drivers in the chat, Jamie, that there's going to be heavy rain at the end of the race. Apparently, it's supposed to be 20 minutes of dry weather in the race. Then the heavy rain will start to fall. So that's pretty interesting. If it's less than half the race then, to have a dry line and dry tyres, then what do you go for here in qualifying? Do you go for a dry setup and maximise the dry weather running, or do you see how take a risk and see if the wet weather will last longer? Go for a wet setup.
If you feel like you're a bit further back, I think you'd risk maybe going for a slightly wet setup as Gavin joins the 16 after the race. I believe you go for maybe a wet setup. But I think really in realistic terms, if it's going to be dry for 20 minutes, then that can either be them predictions. They're not 100% accurate on timing. That can mean it can be dry for. That means it be dry for a bit longer. So if I was these drivers, I'd stick on a dry setup. A Skeevan has got pole position with a 107.8 compared to the final sector.
Yeah, a great lap time from Skeevan there. Meanwhile, Westy riding aboard with him as he winds up for another lap here in the Ferrari. P6 for him right now, but the only one he has eyes on right now is Cass, who's there in 8th place. Let's see where he is. He's going through turn 9 onwards towards turn 10. Now Cass is actually on a flying lap as he makes his way through turn 10, onwards now through 11 and 12. And let's see what he's made of here. Can he get ahead of Westy? And he does go purple through sector 2. Onwards now out of the final corner and onwards up the hill through the final couple of corners here. And onwards towards that start-finish line. It's full throttle all the way now to the start-finish line. Can the Red Bull get any higher than 8th place? Yes, he can. P4 then for Cass, taking 3.374 seconds off of his personal best, and he's so close now to that front of the grid where maybe a couple of minutes ago it was not looking very good for him at all.
That's a good lap there. You can definitely build on that, but will he have time to get another lap in? Because it's 3 minutes to go and he's coming in laps, so it's going to be quite tight for him to come out again, but he's got a good lap in there. That should get him comfortably in the top 10 coming to the start of the race.
We'll have to wait and see how that all develops. But at the moment then, Cass is trying to get himself as high up the table as possible. Westy comes back into the pits then. He's getting himself ready for a 1 lap dash then to that line. Sam is currently on an out lap. I'm just trying to see if anyone's on a flying lap. No one is just yet. Cohen will be the first one to sort of start this parade and see if we can get those final laps in qualifying.
The only issue with doing the lap this early is sometimes you might encounter cars. Obviously, they should be aware. You might encounter cars coming out the pits on an out lap. So doing this lap early means you get clear air, but you may be affected by traffic, as I can see Cass has come in the pit. So he's going to have a tight turnaround to come out again.
He is indeed, but it is a short track, so there might be that little bit of an advantage to get that underway. Meanwhile then, we are riding aboard with Cohen then on a flying lap, heading down towards turn 1. This should be an interesting lap time. Heading into turn 1 now, onwards then towards turns 2 and 3. Oh, he gets the back end all wrong there for Cohen, and that is him. Yeah, he's had to back out of that one. So Sam, meanwhile, will take over that, but then he's invalidated at turn 2 there, so not good at all, but at least it's early on, and they can sort of...
The good thing for them guys, they're quite early on, so they're able to save the battery and all the fuel for another flying lap, and so yeah, that's the benefit of going in early. If you make a mistake early on, you know you can back out of it and try and save your battery and your fuel.
Yeah, absolutely, as we see now, lots of more drivers coming out of the pit lane. Lonnie, he's got it wrong at turn 3 as well, maybe just before. So these drivers are struggling with these final couple of laps. Meanwhile then, Suarez then making his way down towards turn 4. He's actually on a flying lap, so the drivers ahead will have to be careful then as he makes his way through turn 5 onwards. He'll go up the hill. Oh, that was a bit of decent. That'll be why then.
That's definitely decent. Yeah, definitely decent.
I wondered for a second there that was going to go horribly wrong, but yeah, there was definitely a little bit of lag involved there. So Suarez makes his way through in towards turn 9, and onwards he will go towards turn 10. Just over 60 seconds left on the clock, and Suarez, can he get up the order here? His fastest lap time so far is on a set of the hard tyres. So this should be infinitely quicker, 1.1 better than his personal best so far. So that is a low 109 as he makes his way now on towards the final few corners. This should be a high 1 minute 8. Let's see where it gets him up the order then as he makes his way towards that start-finish line. Shortest run to the line possible, and it's a 1:08.7 there from Suarez. Puts him up to 13th place. Having a look at the others around the board then. Westy on a flying lap then as he makes his way through turn 3. Now, did Cass beat it? Yes, he did, because he's heading his way towards the start-finish line now, and onwards towards that start-finish line. He will beat the clock and get himself out there for a new flying lap. Forbes, I believe, is making his way now towards the final corner and onwards now towards that start-finish line. Let's see if he can get even higher up the order. Well, it's a 1:10.8, and he's going to have to go again on that one. Of course, he did invalidate that lap. Cohen, meanwhile, is into the pits then. He's had enough for today. Skeven then goes even faster, 1:07.5 from the McLaren there, and a really good lap time there. We've got Sam making his way towards the start-finish line. He finishes P7 at least there. Valentino also out there on a lap. Let's see what Westy can do then. He's had to back out of it entirely, so Westy will not get a faster lap here. Olbrich goes P9 then as Cohen finishes in 5th. Will G is up to 9th, but what about Westy here? That was a real chance to get one over Cass, and Cass has put it on P4 at this moment in time. He's one of the last cars out there to set a lap time on the board. Here he goes then through the final braking zone and onwards. Up the hill he'll go towards that start-finish line. Smith is out there as well. He comes back towards the pit lane there. Let's see what Cass can do. Can he get it on provisional pole position here? It's a 108.0 so far, and it's a 108.0. It will stay. No improvement then from Cass in P4, but a great lap from the McLaren of Skeven will put him on pole position.
Yeah, impressive lap days. He had it comfortable all the way through. Smith getting a good go at the end there. He got front row. It was good for him. But yeah, Skeven, that was in third pole position, and it was quite a big margin for Brazil's terms, over nearly 3 tenths.
I think you have to admit as well that, especially for the other drivers around him, they didn't get a chance of a second bite at the cherry, especially for Cass. Well, maybe not for Cass, but definitely for Westy and the other drivers around. They would have wanted to go again, but Skeven on pole position with Smith in his debut in second, Forbes third, Cass fourth, Cohen fifth, Valentino sixth, Sam seventh, Westy eighth, Will G ninth, Olbrook rounds out the top 10, Glone 11th, Lonnie 12th, Flavel 13th, Speedy Suarez in 14th, and Slater there in 15th place, who has joined back in the session. Fingers crossed he will be able to hold his connection until at least we get to the formation laps so that he can start this race. Don't forget as well, we've got another starter, the 16th starter of this race, didn't take part in qualifying. So it is Gavin there. I waited for that screen to come up because I knew I'd forget his name, but Gavin is the 16th starter of this race. Can I see his name up there?
Gavin's there, but
Gavin's
Slater
there.
isn't.
Slater isn't? No, he's not. Well, that goes down as a DNS.
Yeah, it will, I'm afraid. Second week in a row, I believe. Happened to him in Brazil. It's unfortunate, because he's had a good season, and it's just quite sad to see, because he's not really able to fight for this third in the championship, which is a shame. But obviously that means Flavel won't be complaining, I don't think, with that.
No, absolutely not. So what that means in terms of the championship for Flavel, well, currently he's 33 points ahead of Slater, and even further than that ahead of Will G. That's his closest rival when it comes to it.
Will G down in 9th from the grid, I believe. Will G didn't have a good session at all, and I was expected to be higher than that.
And you've also got Forbes there, who I believe, trying to work it out in my head, is 66 points behind. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit uncatchable there. In fact, it will be uncatchable because he's got to get it down to at least 26 points or fewer before the start of the next Grand Prix. So in terms of Forbes then, I'm just trying to work it out off the top of my head with no calculator in front of me whatsoever. Why would you even suggest that? Well, he's on 60 points. Yeah, that would bring it down to 35. So actually there's no chance for Will G to even close the gap. So with no Slater then, a DNS, it will be against Slater's name, and that will mean that Flavel will wrap up third place in this championship, which means there's a trophy on his way to him. Started out this season with a win and said to us, you know, this season is going to be a big one. I need to prove myself. He's got third place in what has been a tricky season for him, but we're down to 2 in the championship. It's Westy who starts this one in P8, the championship leader, 31 points ahead of this man here, Cass, in the Red Bull.
Westy's not where you want to be in the grids. He's way down there. As I could touch our sponsor, Let's Have a Racing. Obviously this season all our champions will receive a wheel stand delivered by Let's Have a Racing, and so will Westy be getting that wheel stand confirmed tonight? Let's see. Could happen.
Absolutely, let's see, as I think Slater, he's a ghost on the grid, so he will make the start. Hello, this could work out for him. He is a ghost right now. He's joined back into the session. Fingers crossed that he makes this one. But Skeven,
I was in Australia when I was driving, and I couldn't, hopefully not like that.
Well, Skeven now lines up onto the grid then. To start this one from pole position. A really good lap time from him. Can he keep this up? But rain is forecast here at the Brazilian Grand Prix, but we are now moments away from the 20th round of One Hub Racing here at Sao Paulo Interlagos, as we await now for these 5 red lights. There is a bit of decent because Slater's gone for it here, and he's stopped very stylishly there at the front of the grid. But now it's all about the clutches in, 5 red lights, and we are underway. What are those start like we may make our way down towards turn 1. You can see there Skeven did get a good start off the line. Smith then is side by side with Cass then as we make our way now through the centre S. Smith is able to hold on. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the two of them, and Cass runs into the back of Smith there. Into the back of the Haas he goes. Forbes just takes that position away. There's absolute carnage in the background. Sam is around and he's spun it around. Everyone's had to try and make their way through. Forbes then and Smith trying to go side by side. Then up the hill we go through turn 5 onwards towards turn 6. The Haas then goes up the inside of Forbes. Then Forbes has to hang it around the outside. He's still there as we enter turn 9. A little bit of lag there. Now in towards turn 9 we go as Cologne has got a position up here. Cass with that front wing damage. Well, he ran into the back of Smith there. Very unfortunate for him. You can see there's a battle in the background between Albrecht and Cologne there as Cologne sends it up the inside at turn number 10. He'll have to be on the outside here for turn 11 as Albrecht wants to take the corner here. He gives him the space on the run down towards the final braking zone in towards turn 12. Again, Cologne still on the outside then on the exit of that final braking zone there, but Westy's battling his way through. Onwards we go towards the start finish line. Cass is into the pits then. Meanwhile, Westy will take full advantage of that one. Up to P7 he goes, but he's still side by side with Lonnie as he makes his way now down towards turn 1. There you can see through the centre S he's still there, and Lonnie will hold on to that position. And meanwhile, Albrecht and Cologne still battling away for what is now 10th place. No DRS yet, of course, until the third lap of this race. But Valentino up the inside of Cohen in towards turn 4. Through turn 5 we go. Will G had a momentary loss of control, gathered it back up and got the move on Cohen before turn 6. There's a little bit of lag between them there, so that's why Will G has ghosted in preemption for that one. Not that he had any say in that one, of course, but at the midpoint of the second lap, Skeven still leads with Smith in second, Forbes third, Valentino in fourth with Will G fifth, Cohen right behind him. Going for a move down the inside at turn 10 goes the Williams there, trying to take that 5th place away, but Cohen still up the inside through turn 11 onwards towards turn 12. They give each other the room in towards that final braking zone, but look at this now. Cohen will try and cut back here and get a better exit out of that final braking zone in through the final few corners. Then Cohen, who goes to the right hand side, will be on the outside at turn 1. Smith then sets the fastest lap of this race at 1:10.9 as Cohen's still there on the outside in towards turn 1, has to give up that position then and holds on to P6. Great start actually all around there, Jamie. Just what happened at the back?
Yeah, what happened there? I just saw a lot of cars went deep in turn 3. I just sort of collision happened. Obviously, I believe Sam might have run the back of Gavin, but I'm not sure. I didn't see it properly. But yeah, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Like Cass, obviously, he had a good start there initially, but so unfortunate was he could have tried to get in second place, but he had nowhere to go. And now he's after pit and he's championship. He needs a safety car really to have any chance to win this championship.
Well, Westy currently in 8th place. Well, as it stands right now, Westy will be winning this championship right here tonight. Sam has retired, and will this award, this safety car that, well, as you say, Cass desperately wants, I think he's retired in the pit lane.
Shouldn't, because he's retired in the pits, but you know what this game's like.
Well,
the top 3 have pulled away. Top 3 are starting to pull away from Valentino, I've noticed. But a good start for Will G, up 4 places. And Loney up 5 places, so they're the good starters.
Yeah, Smith, another fastest lap of this race as he applies the pressure to Skeven through turn 2 and onwards towards turn 3. DRS is online, of course, so now is the chance for the Haas here to try and really close up to the back of the McLaren as we head towards turn 1. Meanwhile, we've still got to keep one eye on Westy. There's his next target in Lonnie, who has just gone purple through sector 1 here, but in these early stages it's a little bit difficult to see who's actually setting the fastest laps of the race then. Cohen, meanwhile, lost it a little bit on the exit of turn 5 there. However, he gathered it back up. No real threat from the driver behind him, but he did lose a bit of ground to the driver in front. Now, this is a battle here for 3rd place in the championship. Flavel versus Slater. They've got Clone right ahead as we head in towards turn 9. Both of them not in the points. That favours Flavel entirely there for 3rd place in this championship. The gap between them, by the way, is 33 points. So 33 points with one race to go after this one. Slater really has to try and find a way past Flavel and into some decent point scoring positions.
Yeah, I believe Slater got that decent start, but I believe he actually pulled off at the second corner to let Elgard through, which is good sportsmanship, and that's good to see. And obviously, hopefully, his timing is in seeing everybody else. As Flavel gets to move on Clover, actually, can Slater go down the inside? No, he's too far back.
Too far back, and Flavel will get the move done. Meanwhile, Will G and Valentino were going side by side through the center S. Will G has got the move done, but Valentino looks to go back down the inside at turn 4 there, and Will G tried to shut that door, changing the leader. Meanwhile, up ahead, Smith has moved ahead of Skeven, but look at this. Cohen's now getting involved at the narrowest part of the track then, heading in towards turns 5 and 6 and 7. Valentino on the outside, Will G now on the inside as we head in towards turn 8, and Valentino will just about hold that line into the inside of turn 9 and holds on then to P4, with Will G having to hold station in 5th place there as we head towards turn 10.
Yeah, there was a lot of fireworks last week in the chat between Valentino and a couple of these guys, and some job weren't too impressed with his driving, but I have to say he's really much aggressive. He got me stick there really well. He's at the 4th place, but that battle's down the top 5 pull away. Now Will G's got 2 running time. Will G isn't on his normal pace this week. I don't know. He just didn't seem he's not on his full form. He's gonna have a good run, but look at Will G. He's having a Valentino's good down the inside. Surely get repaid a favour. Oh, it's a spinner. He spun. He's in the wall.
And that is Will G, who does now retire from the session as there's a change for the lead, then heading in towards turn 4 here. A little bit of contact between Skeven and Smith, then heading through turn 5, and up the hill we'll go through turn 6. Skeven there will have the outside line as Forbes is still on the outside, but not quite getting the move done. He'll look down the inside in towards turn 8 here. Now has to go around the outside at turn 9, but Smith I think has just about got that position under lockdown here, but now heading towards turn 10. Will Forbes stick a nose up the inside? He will, trying to get away through, but Smith manages to hold on then as we head through the flying left-handers.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous there last few corners. I saw Forbes standing inside and he almost touched the back of the Haas's wheel, but he got away with it. Now I've got a great opportunity in DRS through the final kink, as I'm going to call it a kink, which it really is. Go side by side. We're supposed to have DRS, but I believe Forbes got so much more slipstream. It's going to send it down the inside into centre S. So he's going to... But Smith's defending well, I have to say. He's fighting really hard, really well. He holds him on. Yes, he does. Good defensive driving there from the Haas driver.
Yeah, really good stuff from Smith then as he manages to hold on to P2. Meanwhile, Slater trying to go side by side with Clone, but has to back out of a move then in towards turn 2. Just wasn't going to happen for him. But now he's got to run on him down towards turn 4. Look at this then, Clone. Look at this. He's looking to pincer the move then as we head down towards turn 4. And it's enough to keep Slater behind him. Good defensive driving there from Clone. Asking the question there to Slater, do you want to try and go up the inside? You're going to have to work for it. And Slater has to stay behind Clone for another lap.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Slater is a very, very efficient racer, but Clone is doing a good job. Clone's had some good races this season. He's been a bit inconsistent. We've seen him have a lot of spins, but he's certainly had some good results in the way, and he's fighting hard. As you can see, it's some good points for him today. A few of the quick guys out the race already.
Yeah, just having a look at the starts from this race so far. You can see Lonnie in 6th place, up 6 positions from his starting position. He's had the best start so far. Others around him having a good start. Flavel up 4 places. Slater also up 4 places. So everybody's been going in the right direction, apart from Cass, who's down 9 places from his starter position. Obviously, that was because of the pit lane, or he had to visit the pits there to replace that front wing. But you can see the Racing Point there getting out of shape out of turn number 3 there on the run towards turn 4, and Cohen looking at that advantage there as we now head our way in towards turn number 5 onwards towards turn 6. Skeven still leads this race ahead of Smith, with Forbes right behind him. Valentino in 4th. We're riding aboard with 5th place man Cohen in 5th place. Lonnie there is in 6th, with Westy 7th, Albrecht in 8th. Flavel is up into the top 10 in 9th place, and Clone rounds out the top 10 with Slater not far behind in 11th place.
Suarez, he lost it there. He went over the grass. He's got a 10-second penalty there. A little bit harsh, but yeah, he definitely was almost lost it into the wall there. He took a 10-second penalty. I don't think it was worthy of a 10-second penalty. I think maybe a 5-second penalty would have sufficed there, but yeah, that was a bit harsh, that penalty.
Well, it will have to be added to the end of his race time as it stands, but Valentino has got a little bit of a gap now on the car behind. Meanwhile, lap number 9, Skeven is still leading this one. Smith is keeping him good company along with Forbes then as we head down the back straight. Literally, this part translates from Portuguese to back straight as we head now down towards turn 4. Smith then setting a purple sector through sector 1 as he's right on the back of Skeven there, heading into the braking zone, but nowhere to put the car. Now onto the narrowest part of the track, heading up the hill through turn 6 and 7. Now, obviously there's rain on the way. This is the big thing now. Who's got the advantage, the soft tyre runners or the medium tyre runners?
Oh, it depends where it hits. I think this is Cass's maybe saving grace. Dean put together some good times for the medium tyres, and the rain hits after these guys have to pit, then he'll be a lot closer than what he is now. So yeah, we've obviously got no idea when it's going to hit, but it still looks quite, the clouds still look quite, it doesn't look like it's going to rain any time soon. I reckon it's a good 10 minutes away, looking at this at least. So yeah, these guys will have to pit, and wouldn't go for mediums, or wouldn't gamble, go on over set of softs. That could be one to look out for when they do pit.
Lap 10, Skeven still leading this one. Valentino, meanwhile, has to hold off from Cohen, and the two Williams behind, as that was Lonnie having to take evasive action as Smith and Forbes battling away, then heading now down towards turn 4. The Mercedes along the outside here, and that is Smith having to go up the inside. Forbes has got the corner. Meanwhile, behind them, Cohen is ahead of Valentino going down towards turn 4, and he's finally up a position then ahead of the Icelandic man. And Forbes, meanwhile, is ahead of David Tom Smith as they now head in towards turn 8.
The reason why I shout at Smith is because he had a massive tank slap on turn 3. He did well to actually not spin out, as Suarez has crashed. We've got a safety car. So
there it is. So safety car deployed then, and that might be music to Cass's ears. So what's happened here to Suarez? Oh, he's lost it big time. That's a very peculiar place to lose it, and he was on his own as well. So a very peculiar place to lose it. But lap 10 then here in Brazil, safety car deployed. And so what does that mean for the runners at the start of the field? Well, Skeven here will be leading them. Of course, they have to stick to a delta until they're past that start-finish line when the safety car is deployed. Anyone into the pits so far? No, they're all staying out for now. As, there is Lonnie into the pits then. So Westy also stays out. Albrecht, I'm assuming, will stay out. Yes, he will, as will Flavel. Clone there on the media tyres. Slater comes into the pits then. Cass, well, surely he's got to stay out. And the thing is, this will now bunch up the field, so he gets back into it and into the action here. So that's really good then. But the safety car has picked everybody up then, and we're under these safety car conditions for the next couple of laps.
Yeah, if Cass wants to pit, he'll probably pit next lap, I believe, he wants to pit, but I believe he'd have to stay out and close ground with everybody ahead. But well, I've seen weird players crash. I've never seen many cars crash in the dry. You see, sometimes in the wet, you get a tank slapper because I think there's a bit of a lake down there, but in dry, it's a very unusual place to crash. I don't know what happened there, so it's a bit weird, but you normally crash at turn. When you crash on that section, you crash into like turn 3 to get like what Smith almost did. But yeah, that's unusual. We need to hopefully see what happened there. It'd be good if we get replays of that sort of thing, but I think that's a bit too advanced for the game.
Well, the virtual Bernd Mailander will be leading the pack here, but your leader of the race is right there. Skeven gets a momentary little bit of rest here because Forbes was on a charge there and quite ready to try and take away the race lead. Smith then in 3rd with Cohen in 4th, Valentino in 5th, Westy in 6th, Albrecht in 7th. Flavel is in 8th place with Clone in 9th. Lonnie is in 10th with Cass back in this one in 11th place. Slater right behind in 12th, and Gavin, who hasn't had a great race today, obviously got caught up at the start there. He's now in 13th and ready to be and tag on to the end of this queue and the end of this train to get back into this race. Those clouds, Jamie, are looking very threatening now. They weren't about a couple of minutes ago.
I see why people didn't pit, because this rain might be coming pretty soon. Maybe not long after the safety car, because obviously if it's heavy rain, then what tends to have heavy rain, it tends to start raining, we're going to like have to pit to go on inters, and then I wonder if we have to go full wet, so I wonder if it's that heavy, because sometimes, because then inters, they can go a long way on the track density of rain. So yeah, there's all the cars on the train, so I believe the safety car will come in end of this lap. Gavin, Gavin's compromised because he joined late, he joined during qualifying. That means he's not able to win the setup, so he has to win the stock setup. So He may be struggling a bit. I thought to see rain there. I think the rain might start to fall.
It is starting to fall here. We do have rain at Interlagos then. So it is starting to rain. You can see it on the car here as we ride on board with Skeven then. So obviously when it rains here at Interlagos, it usually pours down. I mean, the Portuguese translation of Interlagos literally means between lakes. That's literally what it means. So there you can see...
Yeah, I live near a bunch of lakes. I know in this sort of area it was rain. The safety car's coming in, so I was about to say if it did stay out, I was wondering if any guys will pit, but you can't do it now. You've got to stay out these dry tyres, surely, unless some guy might gamble. We'll find out.
Now you can see now Skeven will be bunching up the pack then as he has to back off as Smith actually gets a 5-second penalty for that collision with Cohen there. Well, that should be investigated after the race, but meanwhile then Skeven is going to go for it then towards the start-finish line. You can't overtake until you're past that start-finish line then. Green flag racing once again here at Interlagos then as we make our way now down towards turn 1, and Skeven still leads then. Valentino looking for a move around Cohen, which he's got there. Oh, we've got a driver who's lost it, surely. Was that a driver? No, just catching out there. But we've got Smith here on the back of Forbes then as we make our way now down towards turn 4, looking for a move up the inside. No way through for him. Westy, meanwhile, in 6th place, now has an opportunity to try and close in on Cohen as we make our way up the hill towards turn 6 we go. Skeven still leading the way here on lap number 13, but the question is, when will the track not be good enough for these slick tyres, and when will drivers start to lose that overall grip then as Cass moves up to P9 here as he makes his way past Clone. That was a crucial move for him, and well, Westy for him is only 3 positions up the road. Here comes Lonnie then up the inside in towards turn 10, and simply put, Clone just let him have it there as we now head through to...
Yeah, they're mediums, they won't be too great in these conditions, so shouldn't be grip.
Skeven still leads the way then with Smith still on the back here. Well, Valentino's trying to make a difference here as we make our way towards turn 1. You can see from the back of Smith then he's defending to the inside line. Valentino does the old switchback here in towards turn 1. Still has to be on the outside for turn 2. No way through for him as we head through turn 3. Might get better traction actually. Look at this run he's got here. Into the slipstream he goes and onwards now towards turn 4. Not quite got the run because there's no DRS online. He has to be along the outside here. Little bit of contact with that rear tyre there of Philip Smith. But Valentino still making this as difficult as possible for the Racing Point car. Meanwhile then, Cass, has he got the move done on Lonnie here? He has to be around the outside here, which when it starts to get heavier with rain is normally where the grip is, as Cass has got the move done on Lonnie, and he now moves back up to P9, and Westy still in 6th place there. He has been battling with Lonnie for the past couple of laps here, and it's really important that he keeps going here. He has to keep going. He's only got Westy 3 places up the road, then he's got to do a little bit of work to get higher up in the standings. It's not going to be easy for Cass, but this safety car's definitely...
Also, Valentino's lost it coming hill.
Let's see then, have we got drivers coming to the pits? No, not yet, because here comes Cohen, then side by side we go then with Valentino. DRS has been enabled here after this safety car restart. Cohen then up the inside of Valentino as we head in towards turn 1, and Cohen has that position, and Valentino goes down to 5th place here. Yeah, you can see Westy in 6th. There's a little bit of a train forming behind Albrecht then as we head our way towards turn 3. This rain looks like it's okay for now, so these drivers are really being called into question. What do they do now?
Well, what I tend to follow when DRS happens. Obviously, DRS is staying enabled, but I fancy, still be putting enough grip out there still. I think maybe another lap or two for the guys have to pit. But yeah, obviously these soft tyres, they'll be starting to go off a lot now though. So they'll be all these guys, they'll be showing for grip, and the soft tyres, they do wear out a lot quicker, but they should keep the temperature a lot better in these conditions. So yeah, it's interesting, but I do believe these guys stay out for the middle lap. Some guy at the back may gamble, but if you're near the front, you've got to stay out because there's still plenty of grip. And one more of these guys are not struggling too much with grip, so yeah, you have to stay out. And some guy gambles and pays off with fair play. I think Cass might do that. He may have a gamble, but no, they're all staying out. It's a sensible option.
Here's Forbes then up the inside as we make our way towards turn 1, side by side with Skeeve, and then he's going to be on the outside for turn 2. But look at this, he's trying to size up this move as Flavel goes side by side with Lonnie in towards turn 1. No way through for him either, but Forbes here going side by side with Skeeve as we make our way now down towards turn 4, then up the inside the Mercedes goes and he gets that position, moves into the lead of the race. Meanwhile, what on earth is happening behind? This is Ulbrich now and Cass going side by side as we head our way through turn 4, now through turn 5. Cass gets the position. He moves up to 8th place. Now he's got Flavel ahead of him as we head in towards turn 6 and 7 here. And I don't think Flavel's going to make this too easy for Cass here as we head our way into the braking zone at turn number 8 here. Running on board now with that front suspension there, if you like, of Slater here, who's got to try and find some moves. There you can see Flavel up the road, but no way through for him so far as Lonnie ready to take advantage of any mistake that Slater makes. Forbes still leading the way then with 21 laps to go, 20 and a half if you're picky.
Yeah, I believe that what happened there is Jonas got the roadblocks. I believe the train started to derail. I think you guys got past him, and that's what happened there. At the moment, I believe, between Cass and Ulbrich, but he got through, and now James Slater's had a great opportunity side by side down the pit straight. Got the inside line to centre S. He should outbrake the Alpha driver. Looks far more confident on the brakes. He's going to get the move done, is he? Jonas defending the inside, even the inside into 2, but he's on a tight line, and Slater just goes around the outside. Clean out that outside, so much problem. He's on fresher tyres though, let's not forget.
Yeah, as we saw as well, Skeven and Smith battling away. Forbes then still leading the race as Skeven holds on to 2nd place. Cohen, meanwhile, now on the back of Smith then as we head our way up the hill towards turn 6 and 7. As you can see now there, you can see the grip is starting to fall away, especially through 6 and 7. Look at the run Valentino's got now, down towards turn 8 here. Goes up the inside of Cohen and takes away that position entirely. What a great run Valentino had through 6 and 7 there. Just made it look effortless.
Yeah, you see guys struggling, but Valentino should have a lot more confidence in this middle sector and everybody else. I believe he's going to slightly higher wings. We saw he set the purple sector in qualifying, but I believe his straight line speed's a bit down, so he's going to have to go for it pure moves. And this wet weather might help him as Skivan gets a little bit out of shape in Juncal, and Smith as well gets a little bit out of shape coming out of Juncal. And these guys, it's not going to be long till the pit, I don't think. Maybe another lap.
Yeah, the fact that they've made it 17 laps on a set of these soft tyres is really commendable. They're not meant to last this long. Oh, Smith's run into the back of Skeven there, in towards turn 1. He's lost a huge chunk of that front wing there, and Skeven's had to go straight on there, and now rejoins right ahead of Cohen. That's a free position for Valentino there, and a huge disappointment for Smith. He just simply couldn't slow the car down, left his braking too late, outbraked himself in these tricky conditions, and run into the back of Skeven. Oh, a little bit of touch there from Cohen on Skeven now, and he's falling down the order, Skeven.
Yeah, if I was Skeven, I wouldn't be too happy. It's hit twice in about 3 corners. Obviously, I think Smith has misjudged conditions there, because obviously you can't brake as early in these wet conditions, and yeah, unfortunately for Skeven, he wasn't part in that.
Yeah, Valentino now has a good run on Smith now, because with Smith's aero deficiency now through the high-speed corners.
So Skivan just tapped the rear end of Cohen there. I could see a bit of frustration in the McLaren driver. I can see that that move wasn't really on, but he's going to have a good chance of DRS. But will these guys pit? I'm amazed staying out. The grip seems to be doing anything.
Yeah, we're not far from puncture territory, I have to say, especially on these soft tyres. Forbes is in, as is Smith. Leaves that very late then, so Valentino stays out. And let's see what tyres they go on to. I mean, surely they should be going, you'd think, onto a set of intermediate tyres, but they are. Forbes is in. Yeah, lots of drivers in.
Yeah, I think they had to race just for the tyre life. I think they had to just stick it, and if it didn't work out, then they'll have no other option, because they can't risk the puncture. Because I don't know what's worse, having a puncture or driving on a wet track. But this track is, you can see the wet line starting to form now, so I believe they may have made the right decision. We'll keep close on the gap between Forbes and Gavin. That'll tell us. We'll see if that goes up or goes down.
Well, in terms of a championship battle right now, if it were to finish like this with Westy in 4th and Cass in 5th, Westy would be crowned champion tonight. But the one thing he didn't want and the one thing he didn't need was a little bit of trickery in the weather here. A nice, clean, fun race to the end. An uneventful race is probably what he wanted to stay ahead of Cass, but that's simply not happening here. Lap 19 here at Sao Paulo. Valentino now leads, but there's only a handful of drivers that didn't come into the pits to put on a set of intermediate tyres, and the gap between Gavin and Forbes is starting to come down.
Yeah, these guys will surely have to pit because the grip is just going away, and these tyres, I'm feeling it's very second hand, they all feel MOT, these soft tyres. Yeah, they're all down in the pits. When he stay out, I believe not. As look at Smith, that wing damage knocked him all the way to last place. So this shows you, if you knock your wing in a busy pit lane, then it just really affects you.
Forbes there, very out of shape through that second left-hander at the 3. Towards the end of the lap then. Valentino starting to make his way out of the pit lane, but it's a very, very tricky pit lane here. Let's see how they can handle this one. Valentino currently leading, but the way the track runs is that it favours those out on track, and there you can see then Forbes takes the lead here at Interlagos. Valentino comes out in second place. DRS is disabled, so it's literally the changeover now. There you can see Flavel here now up to 6th place, and there's two wide then with Gavin and Slater making their way now down towards turn 4, and Gavin has the inside lane. Slater then loses out positions there. He's actually lost out to Lonnie as well, as he now takes away 8th place. He says thank you very much for the free position, and he now moves up a position, as there you can see Albrecht running onto the curb very wide there. Cass has rejoined in 12th place, and now Westy's up to 5th, so a disaster for Cass so far. It's not over yet though. We've still got 17 laps to go.
Yeah, and he's in the pack now, so yeah, he's I know he's a long way back, but if he needs to get past Albert quick, because I think Albert's struggling in his conditions. But yeah, he's not out of it. But Westy in 5th place, he's just kept it tidy. He hasn't made too many mistakes. He's sort of kept it on the island. He's going to pick up 5th place, which means I believe Cass will have to win the race or get 2nd place if Westy stays 5th. So it's a lot of overtaking Cass has to do, but it's got Goodwin and Slater here to go around the outside of the kink, but it's got the outside into centre S, which could be inside of turn 2, but this is a bit more confidence, so he can out braking here, is he? Slater defends inside, but now Cass going to be inside line. He's got the move done. He's up to 11th place.
Yeah, we just saw a move there from Flavel on Westy then in towards turn 1, and that is a move done for Flavel then. Meanwhile, Smith and Albrecht then battling in towards turn 4 there, and that is Philip Smith who gets the position, then moves up a position, having running 2nd so far in this race. Just outbraked himself, went into the back of Skeven there, and has cost himself a lot of time. Skeven though still running in 3rd place, just behind Valentino. On the grand scheme of things, he hasn't lost out majorly. It could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, but he could have been in. He would have been probably in 2nd place. Cause I believe Forbes would have cut them on the tyre. But yeah, he's really lost the place really. But he did fight back for that. And yeah, Smith. The reason why Smith got by there is because Albrecht had a tank slapper into turn 3. He went wide into the runoff area, so he was compromised at them. And now Smith should get through. And we should see how Cass and Smith get through the field, because these 2 quick guys at the back of the pack.
Westy riding on board with him as he makes his way towards turn 1, but Flavel's just building that gap ahead and managing to stay ahead. Lonnie meanwhile has got to move past Gavin. Is he? No, Gavin's trying to stick it up the inside in towards turn 1 there, and in towards turn 2. Lonnie shuts the door. No, Gavin's got nowhere to go, and he has to concede that position. Lonnie holds on to 7th place. Meanwhile, Cass here knows he's got to get a move on here, as they're still battling Gavin and Lonnie. Here we go then, down towards turn 4. Once again, the Renault on the outside. Has he got the better traction? Has he got the better grip? Yes, he has. He's got a good run there through turn 4 and 5, moves up a position and holds on again to 7th place with, that is Slater, closing in very quickly behind. The lead of the race then at the head of the pack. Forbes is still leading from Valentino, but he's only 9/10 back now. Skeven 1.8 behind Valentino, so he's about 1.9 away from the race leader. Cohen there in 4th with Flavel in 5th. Westy currently in 6th with Gavin in 7th. Lonnie running in 8th. Slater 9th. Clone is in 10th with Cass 11th. Smith 12th. And Albrecht currently running in 13th place. So it looks like he's on the medium tyre, but I'm pretty sure he's on a set of inters.
No, he wouldn't make it this quick on the medium tyre. That's a graphical glitch, I'm sure of it is. Look, Cass and Smith have caught back a Clone almost immediately, so they want to get this move going quickly so they can fight up the points. But yeah, I think Cohen's done a good job there. And Westy, he's starting to catch Flavel now, so Westy, do anything really. He doesn't stay in this position, and he's got been champion, so doesn't take any risks. But not the race instincts. Like, you want to go for it, and we'll see how these guys fight there. With no DRS, but obviously it's a lot more difficult. But you have to put skill into what it takes now.
Big moment there for Lonnie as he headed through turn 3, lost the back end there, but managed to gather it up. Only lost about a couple of tenths of a second there, as are these tricky conditions right now. Lap 23 of 36. We have 14 laps to go, and it is Forbes who leads ahead of Valentino there. The closest battle on the grid, well, there's this one in P11 and P12. Smith on the back of Cass here and looking for a move down the inside at turn 10. Turn 8 that was. No way through for him. Clone here is in that last point scoring position at this moment in time. You can see, I think that spray's getting heavier, Jamie. I've got to be honest with you. We're not quite seeing standing water yet, but that spray's getting heavier.
No, yeah, I believe with 14 laps to go, I believe we may have to switch to full wets late on, which will spice up a little bit more. And obviously these guys do a really good job keeping on track. I've not said too many spins, which is good to see. And yeah, it is looking a lot worse. The visibility, I'm on board with Smith now, and the visibility is getting a lot worse. For sure.
Westy still trying to chase down Flavel, and of course Flavel, who crashed out last week on the final lap of the race at Kota, which put him out of the championship running. 5th place right now. It would have been a huge order for him to get anywhere near the championship, but running in 5th place ahead of Westy right now, he would consider a result here. He could wrap up 3rd place if it finishes like this. All he has to do is finish ahead of James Slater, which he's doing right now. Meanwhile, Cass and Smith battling through our way through turn 4, then onwards towards turn 5 here, as that's the Red Bull off the track there. Smith was not willing to give him that much room, and simply put, Cass had to back out of that one as the Haas gets a little bit out of shape there. Cass now tries to go up the inside at turn 8, and Smith has the inside for turn 9. Just watch out for that contact there. Might be elbows out here, but Cass has the inside line at turn 10. But as we see in these intermediate conditions, normally the outside line is better, which was what Cass has now, going through turn 11 onwards towards turn 12, and Cass has the move done. But no, the Haas is not finished with this move just yet. Smith goes up for a move down the inside at turn 12 and moves back ahead of the Red Bull then down towards the start of this race. Meanwhile, the Renault of Gavin and the Williams of Lonnie are not done here, going side by side in towards turn 1. Gavin has the inside at turn 2. A little bit of contact between them through turn 3, as now Gavin has to go the long way round. But there you go. There's that grip around the outside. That's what it is. That's where the track is, and that's where the traction is, around the outside. Lonnie looking for that move again down the inside of the Renault here, going in towards turn 4. And Gavin has no choice but to take to the curb. Oh, Lonnie's got to be careful about that inside curb. Almost lost the back end again. But now this is very exciting for James Slater here, because he's watching this battle and thinking, I could be involved in this one. I've just got to bide my time. Yeah,
a bit of tears needing me through. But yeah, you can see that outside line is, because it's not used that much. There's a lot more, obviously, there's a lot more grip there because the tyres aren't warm. And you see him karting a lot of kart. It's called the karting line going outside, because the grip, not many people use that line. It just grip up a lot more in the wet conditions. In this game, it's good to see that input in the game, because sometimes not input that much in the game. As Cass got by Smith again, as Smith is always drifting through the final sector, but hands on the game with. They're definitely getting wetter now, and I believe these guys definitely in for wets before the end of this race. Or if it's 2-3 laps to go, you might gamble and stay out and set of inners. That would be an interesting decision for these drivers. See how that goes. If it's about 2-3 laps to go, you'll probably stay out. But if it gets a lot worse, about 6-7 laps, you probably have to pit the full wets.
I think it is getting worse out there. I mean, I'm riding on board with Westy. That rain is getting heavier. So we'll look at the outside of the track. As yeah, you're right. Albrecht is in, but I believe he's got front wing damage. So as he makes his way down towards the pit lane, it could be a chance here for him to go on to a set of wet tyres. I think our Inter's going on. Yeah, Inters are going back onto the car. So on they will go, and on will go a brand new front wing. So he obviously feels it's not ready for the wet tyres just yet. But will there be a time for the wet tyres? That's the thing. If it happens so late on into the race, it might not be worth.
No, because it's quite a long pit lane. It's quite a long pit lane around it. It's one of the longest on the calendar. So yeah, you do lose a lot of time, especially at the end of it. Especially at, like, when you go through turns 2 and 3, because you have to take that slow line. So yeah, I don't think it's worth the risk if it comes the next 2 or 3 laps for a real pit. But anyway, than that, you gamble, you stay out on a set of inters.
Well, Forbes is still leading now. 10 laps to go here at Interlagos. And it is the Mercedes and Forbes who leads the way. Valentino is second, Skeven third, with Cohen in fourth, Flavel in fifth. Championship leader, there you can see Westy in 6th place, currently in that position to wrap up the championship in these damp conditions here in Brazil. Gavin there is in 7th with Lonnie in 8th, Slater running in 9th, Clone in 10th, and there is 2nd place in the championship right now of Cass, currently running in 11th place and outside of the points. That's not good then for Cass, as he wants to try and get higher up the order, but ever since that front wing damage there that he got when he got into the back of Smith on lap 1, this race just doesn't seem to have gone his way, Jamie.
No, he's not really even gaining on the car's head. He's sort of, I don't think he's falling back into clutches of Smith. So yeah, it's not gone well for him because he did qualify so well. He had a good first few corners, and then ironically enough, he actually went on the back of the guy he's battling when he could have a chance to get 2nd place because he had a good run coming out turn 2 and turn 3, but he had nowhere to go. And ever since then, he's been trying to recover. He had that safety car, but he's not looked at all comfortable in these wet conditions.
Well, here we can see Skeven still trying to close in on the back of Valentino as we head through the final corner and onwards towards the start finish line. Lap 28 here in these damp and dreadful conditions. I mean, it's getting heavier, the rain here. Just watch out for the outsides of the track and standing water if there is any. That's your surefire sign to know that it might be time to come in for a set of the wet tyres. I mean, the heavens really have opened here, Jamie. They really have. You can see how much that rain is falling onto the track, and just look to the outside of the track. You can see there is starting to be some standing water out on track, so the drivers have to think carefully about their next move. Do they come in for a set of wet tyres or try and chance it to the end on a set of inters?
Well, if I was near the back, I'd gamble on a set of 4 wets, just get nothing to lose. You've got a 4-way battle from 9th place here. You've got Clone going outside of James Slater, out of road. Where's Cass in all this? Cass may fancy getting his move done.
Oh no! That's the Toro Rosso round! Big collision there, and I think the Toro Rosso lost the back end, and another safety car's been deployed. Well, that'll solve that issue. So surely now there'll be drivers coming into the pits to go onto a set of full wets, surely.
Yeah, Cass is retired. I'm not sure. We're not sure if he's retired on track. Yeah, they'll definitely pit for 4 wets now. He'd be stupid not to.
Well, what that does, Jamie, that really does wrap it all up. We can safely say now that your new champion for the Pinnacle Tier under these safety car conditions is Westy, with no competition from Cass anymore in that recent collision. He is your Pinnacle Tier champion no matter what tonight. He will stay out and basically stay out on a set of the intermediate tyres. Flavel comes in. I think he's going to go onto a set of the wet tyres here and see if he can chance his arm and see if he can gain a couple of positions. But there is your champion, Jamie. Westy, a fantastic drive all season.
Well done to him, yeah. He's been the most consistent driver. He had a bit of a rough patch throughout the season, but he's come back well from then, and he's got 3 race wins and quite a few podiums. I can't remember the exact number of podiums, but he's been Mr. Consistent this season. He fully deserves his crown. And I believe Ferrari will also wrap up the Constructors' Championship this week, so it's going to be double celebration for the Scuderia.
Absolutely, and I know Westy will be very, very happy with that one. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a mic, Jamie, so we won't be able to speak to him tomorrow. No. I'm sure we'll get a couple of quotes from the brand new champion here of the Pinnacle Tier. A massive congratulations to Westy, and now for the final handful of laps, Jamie, he can enjoy himself.
Yeah, he can enjoy it, obviously. I think I'd prefer it to be a little bit drier, because this is a bit of a nervy time for him. It's interesting, the guys that pitted, Flavel and Smith have gone for their wets, but Slater and Clone said on meters, so that's interesting to see a bit of divergence of strategy there.
Absolutely, but we head through that final braking zone. We will have at least one more lap under the safety car here. I just wonder, it is getting very heavy, the rain out there, and whilst the cars are going at a slower pace, they're displacing less water. And so that means that the track will get wetter and wetter much more quicker than it would have done under racing speed. Skeven's into the pits then, surely to put on a set of wet tyres. Yeah,
but I think Will Flavel, obviously, I think the McLaren team might pull the backstroke here. I think Flavel will come out ahead of Skeven, I believe. Yes, he will, but Skeven should slot in behind his teammate, because there's quite a big gap for the car behind. I know it's quite a long pit lane around there, but it's going to be quite tight for him and Slater. You want to stay out ahead of that Red Bull, I believe he will do, will he?
I think he will, yeah. just about.
Yeah.
And of course, the thing is that the pit lane isn't part of the racetrack, so the McLaren there can go as fast as it wants into the pit lane until he can get out onto track. And yeah, actually, he's put on a set of Inters then.
Yeah, maybe fancy fresh tyres. Maybe fancy these tyres will drop off. Maybe he's going for the tyre wear. Maybe these tyres, he might feel confident these tyres will last the whole race. Obviously, with fresh tyres, you have a lot more grip, but look, he's got to move. He's got to gain 7 places. He's got to overtake 7 cars, and that won't be easy for him.
It won't be easy at all, but interestingly, he hasn't gone for a set of full wets. He's gone for the intermediates. That is going to be a big telling sign of what is going to happen in this race. And the rain is heavy, and you can see there is standing water on the outsides of the track. So I'm eager to see how this one goes down. Of course, we'll know around about now whether the safety car will come in, because we're heading towards Sector 3 now. Let's see if the safety car lights turn off. No, we are staying out under safety car for another lap here. So we'll have 5 laps to the end then. 5 laps to push towards the end of this race. So it should be
sprint basically, yes. They've plenty of fuel, plenty of battery. So yeah, do fun 5 laps, go different tyres. Yeah, it could be interesting. I wonder if these guys will, if you pit now, you get up to the back of the field, so you've got to stick with your strategy now. You can't pit now to drop to the back.
Well, the only thing is, if they pit now, yes, they might drop to the back, but they might be on the better tyre heading towards the end of this race. It might balance in their favour, but the only problem is the safety car's been out for quite some time now. It's due back in any moment, and I think that window to really pit in during the back of the queue has gone.
Yeah, because on the Dream Grand Prix, we saw Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll gamble on a pit stop, and that worked out well for them. And they got, not Pierre Gasly, sorry, Kvyat and Stroll both pitted. Actually, dry tyres back there, but that worked out well for them. And obviously, a bit different in a game to real life, but it's still the same impact. This rain is getting a lot heavier. I believe Fauvel. I think Fauvel might win this race. You know, I believe he might have made the right decision here.
Well, let's see how it all pans out then as we make our way in towards this Sector 2 section of the track. Forbes is your race leader and will be leading the pack up towards that start-finish line as they now tiptoe their way through turn 10, through turn 9. Even in these conditions under the safety car, it's so difficult to keep that car under control.
Yeah, it's resemble the river right now, yeah, and obviously in the safety car it can be worse though, because it can't keep tyres at the temperature, so that can make it worse in effect. And the restart's going to be maybe a couple of first few corners. These guys, the safety car will surely come in if it does.
So here we go then, Forbes will be leading them up towards that start-finish line. Remember, the cars cannot overtake the car ahead until they are past the start-finish line, and Forbes then will be backing up the pack, and it's his decision on when we can restart the race. The safety car will of course have to pass the safety line, or the limiter line, before Forbes can start to push. When will it go? He's gone for it now as we make our way towards the start-finish line. Slater has retired from this session. He's crashed out under this safety car restart, but we are green flag racing then. In towards turn 1 we go. Valentino goes for a move up the inside, and Forbes is able to hold on then through turn 2, and Valentino, no, he takes the lead. Valentino in the lead of this race then as we make our way through turn 3. Forbes will be looking for any sort of move on the Icelandic man then heading down towards turn 4. There you can see Cohen looking for a move up the inside now of the Mercedes, this time in towards turn 4, but the Mercedes has the outside line and is able to hold on to that position. Meanwhile, Gavin and Westy are battling it out through turn 5. Westy goes off the track then to try and hold on to the car then through turn 6 and 7 there. You can see Gavin around the outside there, just about holding on to that one was Westy. But look at this packed track here as you look behind yourselves here. Fauvel still in 7th place. There is his teammate Skeven going up the inside in towards turn 9. And let's see who has the better grip then as we make our way up towards turn 10. There you can see Fauvel just getting a little bit sideways there, struggling in these conditions, but you can see the two teammates still battling away here as Fauvel loses the back end again going through that right-hander of turn 11. There you can see Smith there also on the wet tyres. Oh, Gavin spun around. Gavin around at the final corner. He will be able to get this car restarted, but is that a telltale sign of these intermediate tyres? Are they starting to lose the grip? Well, the wet tyres, I've got to be honest with you, the wets and the inters are pretty much at the same pace at this point.
See McLaren's on the Williams here, Skeevan. I think Fauvel's got lots of grip, but he's got nowhere to put the car. He's just got cars everywhere. I believe he's got the fast period grip. He was trying to go for moves in that middle sector, but he had nowhere to go. Skeevan took the 5th place, and on fresh tyres, these guys head on old tyres. Skeevan, he may fancy the win here.
Well, Skeven might fancy the win, but I tell you what, Valentino is on a charge, but he's got Forbes right behind him then. 4 laps to go here at Interlagos. He's looking for a move at the narrowest part of this track. Flavel is still battling away. He's off the track then as Smith and Clone go up positions, do they? In towards the double right-hander of turn 7 and 8 here. Smith has got past Flavel then as we head in towards turn 8, and he's just trying to hold off the Toro Rosso behind. I'll tell you what, actually, this rain has actually died off again.
Yeah,
it's died off again.
Yeah,
so,
it is. Yeah.
So that's not good news. It's not good news for the wet weather runners. It's great news for the intermediate runners.
Definitely in conditions of Skiban is going to catch up these guys, but where's he going to get past them? He's got 4 cars ahead, they'll find each other. Skiban's going to find a difficult job passing these guys. He's got hooks and mistakes.
Well, Forbes is right in the back of Valentino then as we make our way on towards that turn 1 here. Valentino defending the inside line. Forbes will have to go around the outside here in towards turn 1, but no way through for the Mercedes. One thing to wrap up here is that Flavel, no matter where he finishes here, no matter if he finishes, he has secured 3rd place in the driver's title. So a third place for him in the championship. Meanwhile, then there goes Clone straight around the outside there. Superior grip on these intermediate tyres as Ulbrich now looks for a way past Flavel. Flavel looking up the inside in towards turn 4. But I think that's a picture that paints 1,000 words, Jamie. These intermediate tyres, I wrote them off.
Yeah, I did as well. I didn't expect to drop so quickly. Ulbrich, so much more grip around the outside. He's going to win a little bit deep, though, almost on the grass. But yeah, look at this. And Claude Smith, it's just superior grip to him, superior here. They've gone the lines that shouldn't be quicker, but they are quicker, and he's got through. And Smith, that car must have feeling like a boat at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ulbrich, he's very late on the brakes there. Skivan's past Westy, he's up to 4th place.
He's run deep into the final corner, and so Westy might have the better traction here. But remember, Skiven is on 4-lap-old intermediate tyres that haven't been up to race pace, as there you see Westy trying to hang on to 4th place, heading now down towards the start-finish line. Lap 35 here, 2 laps to go here at Interlagos as Valentino holds on against Forbes then into turn 1 there. You can see that Valentino holds on as Skiven gets the move done on the Ferrari of Westy then, and moves now up to 4th place. Westy down to 5th. Lonnie here is trying to chase down the Ferrari, who's in 6th place right now, as there you can see the battle of the wet weather runners here. Philip Smith and Ollie Flavel making their way now down towards turn 4, and of course Flavel here might just see if he can drop back and see if he can get that battle for 11th place, because whoever finishes there gets another point. They might have to think about that towards the end of the race.
Look at Gavin, look around here.
That's Gavin off the track there. Philip Smith also lost the back end through turns 4 and 5, as you can see there. Flavel and Smith there battling away. Smith lost the back end, understeered there into the McLaren and almost lost the car completely, but managed to gather it up there.
Hold it.
And meanwhile, Lonnie then still on the back of the Ferrari. Forbes, meanwhile, still looking for a move up the inside at turn 12. No way through for him to try and take the lead of this race then, as we now ride on board with the Mercedes then through the final left-handers then onwards now towards the final lap then. Valentino in the lead of this one as he starts the final lap here in Brazil. But will he finish the race there? 1 lap to go here at Interlagos, and Forbes looking at the outside line, very, very close to the grass there on the outside. And Forbes here has a battle on his hands because he knows Valentino's going to defend this one hard. In through turn 3 they go. Forbes has got a better run, but he gets onto the curb there. That's going to scrub off some speed, and look at Valentino able to hold on then. Down towards turn 4 they go. Valentino holding on to the race lead at this point in time. Cohen is under pressure from Skiven here as they now head their way up the hill towards turn 6 for the final time. Through 6 and 7 they go. Valentino, the man from Iceland, holding on to this one. Forbes is in 2nd place with Cohen in 3rd. Skiven in 4th, and Westy currently in 5th place with Lonnie trying to keep up with the front runners. But Valentino still trying to hold on. Not sure about penalties here. It's yellow flags in sector 2 as that's Smith around just after turn 5. Meanwhile, we're going to stay on board here with Forbes and Valentino. Who will be the winner of this race? We don't know about the penalties. We're not going to look because we're not going to take our eyes off this action. Forbes then had the run down towards turn 12. He tries up the inside. There's surely not enough space there between the two of them, but they're going side side by side now towards the line. Watch on board for Cohen. He can try and take advantage of this. They're still side by side. Forbes loses it, comes back across the track, and is out of this race. Surely he spins and spins, but the race winner, Valentino, wins a dramatic sprint to the line and takes the win here at Interlagos, as Forbes lost the back end all on his own and crashed out there. I'm surprised he didn't actually retire the car there, but he finishes there in 6th place. But Westy still finishes in 2nd place and really puts a really good day had there for Westy. Valentino is your race winner here at Interlagos, but your new Pinnacle Tier champion of season number 14 wrapped up here tonight. It's Westy. He is your new champion.
Yeah, and that finish sums up Westy's season. Just kept out of trouble, didn't make turning mistakes, and avoided actually gets a warning all race, and he's got 2nd place. Well done to him. Well done to Dane Sarzi, his first win on his return to One Hub Racing, and well done to Cohen. I believe that's his 2nd podium of the season, I believe. So well done to the top 3. But congratulations to Westy and Ferrari.
Yeah, it's been a great race, that is for sure. Valentino with his first win back here in One Hub Racing. Cohen, that's his first podium of the season, so that's a really good result for Cohen. That'll get him up a few positions in the championship, but the man on the 2nd spot of that podium is your new Pinnacle Tier champion here in One Hub Racing. And to take you through the full official, unofficial results, Valentino wins the race with Westy in 2nd, Cohen 3rd, with Skeven in 4th, Lonnie in 5th, and Forbes in the end finishing in 6th place. Clone in 7th with Flavel in 8th. He's wrapped up 3rd place in the championship, so congratulations to him. Albrecht in 9th, and Gavin is in 10th place and gets the final points there. And Smith outside the top 10, well, he does have the fastest lap, so he will now pick up an extra point for getting that to the checkered flag and setting the fastest lap outside of the top 10. Fastest lap inside of the top 10, a 1:10.7 from Forbes, who finished in 6th place, so he gets an extra point added to his name.
Lonnie got it, sorry.
Oh, by 0.02 of a second. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So it's actually Lonnie who gets that one. And, well, that ends it there. A few retirements there. More than I can count on my hand, I've got to be honest with you. However, your new champion is, of course, the Ferrari of Westy. So a big congratulations to him. Commiserations there to Cass. I mean, that retirement there that brought out the safety car has got to hurt even more. But a great fight from him all season long. And now there's actually going to be a little bit of a fight for 2nd place. There could be. I'm just trying to work that out in my head. I'm just trying to remember where Flavel finished, because if points go in his favour here, there could be a little bit of a battle towards the end here. Let's see. Flavel finished in, I believe it was 8th place. Let me have a look. It was 8, so that's 4 points. No, it's not. It's not enough. So Cass has got 2nd place in this championship. Flavel wraps up 3rd. That's your top 3 for the season. So a big congratulations to your podium of Pinnacle Tier winners.
Yeah, that's impressive for them. Really well done to them, and well done to everybody today. That was a good race. Dramatic finish. I mean, I don't know what happened at the finish there, but yeah, I think that might be in the steward's office. But as we come to this end of this night, we're gonna discuss our driver day nominations. I'll let you go first, Kieran.
Oh, you're very kind, aren't you? Well, do you know what? It was a race that had so many good performances in it. It's really hard to choose just one, but one person who kept their cool there at the final part and just timed it all perfectly for today. My vote goes to Valentino, P6 to P1. A great performance from him today, kept his cool when it mattered, and to get his first race win back here in One Hub, that will do him the world of good. Made some good overtakes as well, defended hard but attacked hard as well, and managed to get himself the win today, so he gets my Driver of the Day award.
He maybe didn't get the result he deserved, but I'm going to go for Skeven. I think he showed really good pace all weekend, a good qualifying and a good strong race. A bit unlucky with what happened with Philip, and Skeven is going to get a sympathetic Driver of the Day domination from me.
Well, there are your Driver of the Day nominations. You'll be able to choose between those two on the Twitter page of One Hub, at One Hub Racing. The nominations and the votes will go up tomorrow, so it's your opportunity to vote between those two. Don't forget as well to follow our sponsors, obviously Next Level Racing, at Next LVL Racing. Make sure you go and follow them as well. If you like the commentary team tonight, well, good on you. You can follow them on Twitter as well. You can follow me on Twitter at KS McGinley, that's McGinley. Y. And you can also follow Jamie as well on Twitter at JamieMet92. And, titles wrapped up. We'll have to work out the constructors because it takes a bit more math. But I'll tell you what, It's been a great season. I can't wait for the last one where everyone just throws everything at it.
Yeah, nothing to lose now. Just go through it, have a bit of fun. Obviously, Abu Dhabi, a track where it's a track which isn't one of my favourite tracks, but you can see good racing there from time to time. So hopefully, have it again. And I do believe Ferrari have confirmed the Constructors' Championship, but when that's officially confirmed, that'll be on our Twitter and our social media. You'll find out there. But yeah, should be a good run, and I'll see you all next week. It's been a long season. 20 races in the books, 1 to go.
Absolutely, and hopefully you will join us next week for the season finale of all the tiers here in One Hub. Make sure as well you subscribe to the channel down below, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single race next week, I should say. Hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's stream, hopefully you've enjoyed tonight's race, and hopefully you've enjoyed the commentary here tonight. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I've been Kieran McGinley.
Abhijay Metcalf.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
Good night.